there's this philosophy about that most churches or individuals have here in Nigeria. They pay more premium attention to hardwares than what you're using to connect these hardwares together, right? So that bag is what is I each time I travel, I travel with two different bags. One bag is just cables. And I travel to a country that don't have one cable, I'll just reach out and get this cable. Once the cable is neat, your audio will be clean. Okay, thank you, sir. So audio is still audio, even when you in the midst of digital systems. Except when it gets to a point where anything from microphone to digital mixer to speaker is all void of audio cable, then we know that, okay, we don't have audio in our network. But as long as you have cables at some point, it's audio. So cables, they are the things you must not trace softly with. I customize these cables. And so what I want to do today is to introduce what I call MIDI keys. It's an additional ambient pad that enables worship. So if you can reason in this frequency, I'm sure you'll get much more than the concept I have. 101, you can take it off from here and it makes you so better. So what I want to do is, we have a keyboard that has a USB output. So let's assume this keyboard is what the main keyboard plays. It's good for you actually to understand music, because music is the raw material. They're the things we process to give us good sound. Just the same way you have music producer, you have sound or mixing, live mix producer. As long as you are here, you are part of the producer. I know over here, a lot of emphasis has been laid on stage, front of house, broadcast, mix engineer, but in between there are guys that run errands. They're also part of the system. So the way we respect these guys is the same way I respect person that patch. Because the patcher that doesn't patch well will not give you good sound output at the end of the day. The system tech and the simulating engineer that does not do its work well will not translate your mix very well on your PA system. So everybody is really contributing to what you have in a system. So it doesn't just end here, right? So this is just an end to a means, right? So I'm just here to share with you that there are other dimensions. So we should love ourselves equally. There are concepts, there are everything. We need each other, really. So cable has so many things. If you notice from this part, I have XLR male and I still have XLR male. Why not female? Everything is still what? Analog, not digital. This is just a multi-purpose cable. So I need to extend and have more of this XLR or TRS, sorry. I might just need to extend. All right, so audio cannot function without cable. It is good for you to know what it does. As simple as this sound, it is really complex. Now, if you have this jack, what's the difference between this jack? Can I have a TS, normal jack, the one with 2 pin? Can I have it, please? Just 2 pin. Can I have just 2? Okay, so we might just see it as a balanced impedance, or some people might just call this guy stereo. Why? Right? You might be right, actually, when you say this is stereo. You know, we have consumer level of audio and we have a pro level audio. For a consumer level, you have this typical example to play with. The headphone that you connect your earphone is actually a consumer level. Thank you. It's actually a consumer level. It does not know what is balance or unbalanced. It sees this tip as left, the ring as right. This is what should. So, which explains why when you take something from consumer base to a professional base that is branded as both balanced and unbalanced, it won't work well. When you carry your headphone from the supposed port to a normal line output, only one side of your headphone will work because it sees this other one as either a send or return, plus or minus. So we need to understand at what time do we have, like I said, this might look very simple, but it's very necessary, very, very necessary. And it's very important that we have this so that our audio is represented well. Remember, we cascade and we micromanage different components. We have Yamaha here, Behringer here, DB, Dash here. We have MacBook, different things. They must be communicated together. They must be coupled together to give us unison in our system. Are we here, please? All right, so you might have something. Please don't mind the cable. When we are talking based on pro audio, we can just say this is unbalanced line and this is balanced line. So let me take it down again to this level. We have instrument level. We have line level. So when you have an interface like this, you need to connect any of these, you must condition this guy to interpret what you are putting inside. Is it instrument level or line level? That's why if I'm using line level, there's a switch that must turn on line. If it is instrument, it got to be what? Instrument. Have you ever tried using TRS on keyboard and it answers you? Have you tried? Please experiment and give me feedback later. Like I said, as simple as this sound, very, very important. And so with this, we have issues with ground noise, and some form of signal. It's good for you to know that we have instrument and we have line. Now, when you connect system, and you also connect system and system, you need to know the output, where the system is coming out from, and the input. Now, the communication between this guy and this other system is what? Instrument. So they have programmed this guy to have an unbalanced impedance from the output. You can never see balance, except it stays otherwise. I think I've seen one Roland keyboard that has XLR output. So those are purpose-made. That doesn't need DI box. XLR directly, so it's actually conditioned this guy not as instrument, but as line. When you have some SPDF, check the manual to know whether it reads balance or unbalanced, to know which kind of interface. When I have this stuff, it is actually both balanced and unbalanced that has an output. So that's why it is still possible you connect some of these things without DI box in a balanced mode and it's still clean. So based on this balance stuff, I say, okay, anytime I want to use this multi-channel sound card to play my multi-stems or play my MIDI keys additional sound, I can just connect this and bypass DI box and it's still okay and I'm still good. Recently, I was just telling someone that we came in with this kind of cable almost, sorry, this was a mistake, or maybe as at this time we don't have TS, but you see this, it is actually TR. We merge these two together. You might have this cable for like 10 meters and there's no noise from a keyboard to DI box. I'm not advertising this, but systems, like I say, you can come in with something that works for you and is excellent. Someone might sit and say, what? This cannot be. Because you are still trying to reason the theory that surrounds this. We consider that this line level only takes two configurations. Maybe we have red coded cable and we have white coded cable, then we have shield. At the end of the day, you might end up wasting that white by just bridging it together with the shield, Abi. Or you might just join red and white to become your tip and have other ones reason or function as shield. So instead of wasting these resources, why can't you just get that white out of this into another cable as an input? Since there's a common ground, this ground is common to you, it's common to him. If you remove your feet and put your your leg on the ground, that means your whole system is actually uh, connected. It's having it's a complete circuit to the ground. This ground is they call it 0 volts, Abi. It can take 1 billion of voltage, go overload. So there's a sheet which shares the same polarity. I can just have one sheet and link it with this one. And I patch my system, we are good. No noise, nothing, no quality drops. Although it's a function of the quality of your cable. And it is really hard for one to fail. Most of the time when you patch individual cable, you might be struggling with one side. When it's okay, during line check, you are trying to get your line sources. You see that one leg will not work. And sometimes it might take you 30 minutes to solve that troubleshoot. So that's why we always use this. And it has helped us. It's another concept for you. Stuff. All right, so I'll need someone to patch. We'll do all this together, right? So I'm taking output from this guy. I want to connect this sound card to the system and also connect this cable to this. So the output of it goes to the mixer. So what we want to do is want to create additional part. I'm sure, how many of you have seen me marketing something that look like pads, and I'm playing, there's a sound, it has some ambience. So I just want to demo it. And if you can grab it, you can introduce it to your church. If it's worship, it's praise, it's rich. Again, this concept came up in the place where I was reasoning and I was also praying. And I had this thought that came to me that it is good to have your stems real time playing. For as many of you that mix live sound, when you solo stems, it's just a combination of loop and some additional keys that they layer to create a sound. When you solo it sometimes, it doesn't make sense. They've taken the low end, the high end might not just be there or might be there for the loop. So when they inject these stems to real-time instrument, it is full. That's the term we use to describe how rich your music is, right? So sometimes when stems just finish playing, it will be obvious that something has ended. And so there's this intensity, there's this atmosphere thing that will just drop. So there should be transitional time when I know that stem is almost rounding off, and then I just push this guy. Even when you go spontaneous, nobody will know. And the dimension of sound here is a function of your VST, Virtual Studio Technology plugin you have. Right? So, but in this class, I will use Logic. And there's two plugins I will use, Alchemy and Omsphere. So we might just have 2 or 4 outputs. I'll just show you how you can. I'll have someone play keyboard. If possible, we'll have someone to sing. And so we see how it works. Like it works like magic. Imagine a sound engineer thinking like that. So you can just go out of the box, and have that thing thought. Like I said initially, you can be unique in your various ways. There's something you do that is different from me. There's what you do that gives you result. There's only you. Like you're always happy doing it. We have them loaded. So I need someone to help me, please, to patch this from the output of this guy. So why we continue? Please, I need somebody. So I've simplified for you. These pairs are together. So we have 1 and 2. Just follow the output from this guy and just connect. So the seventh and eighth, we use this guy to just extend. So why he's doing this, I don't know why so many of us are scared of using reverb. Or sometimes you have the desired sound, or you use it, and somebody's voice is sounding inside. Everything is echoing. Huh? No, I'm just saying. So just as we have real input, we also have round trip input, like round trip input. So when you have FX return, they are your potential input. So they are part of the process. You can just connect these two. So the numbers here, you can just connect them on. You just start from 3, 4. The remaining one, you just use aux in. Where's the adapter? Are you with me, sir? Am I speaking mysteries? Are you sure? Okay, so as you are all aware, everything input can be processed. You can choose to EQ and compress your reverb or your delay. However, reason sound in this dimension that there are two types of sound you produce. The sound that you perceive with your ears, and there's sound that you perceive, which is a function of your thought. Have you ever heard a sound that looks as if it's your own illusion? As if it's your own thinking that, I mean, it's your spirit man that is just thinking that, but really the sound is there. How do you call that type of sound? Something that you felt more than hearing. Are we good? Please share with us your experience. You're smiling. It's not. So you can just take this guy to. So sorry for these connections. We're supposed to have with them before now. So do you have any keyboards here? Okay. Yeah. So let me disconnect this USB. Okay, there's a USB behind these keys. Let me connect. Okay. So let me press something. Okay. I'll just make do it. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. Shall we good? So let me press one. Just press the key and sustain it. Again. Let's keep pressing. Let's keep pressing. Please just be on standby, right? We'll be done soon. Still loading. You can just follow the color code. Sir. Keep playing. One and two. Sir? Yes. No, so from three then you use aux. Oh. Okay, no. Okay, yes, you can take out the keys and have the keys on at the auxiliary. Sorry. Keys as auxiliary. Yes. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. Okay. All right, so we are here. Be on standby, sir. So, like I said, the idea is just to create, to play with atmospheric part, the things you hear in stems. Like there are sound, there are part that the patch, the pack together to create a sound. So sometimes it can just be a keyboard. And remember, this setup is not actually at the front of house. It will be on stage. And so what we used to do is that we have different router. So at each point in time that we know there will be drop, we just mount a router and repeat the same until it gets to the front of house. So at the front of house, iPad, please. At the front of house, there's an iPad that you can actually see your logic remotely. So wherever you can alter anything, you can increase, you can reduce, it's just there for you. So what we'll do is each output, like now we only use 8 output, which means 4 stereo in. So for an input 1 and 2, we can just route an atmospheric pad. So 3 and 4 can be strings. Some of you might just say, this guy is taking the work of an instrumentalist. Now it's not. We are just enabling the worship environment. So this is supposed to see the router, but it's not on currently. It's not on currently. So once you have a router that is connected to both devices, it will be easier to log on to your Logic remote. So the Logic remote will have access to your main keyboard, which is like 50 meters away from you. Don't worry, I'll just use hotspot from my phone. I think there's a hotspot. So play something. System display so that we can route it together. Keep playing, sir. Just hold on, please. Oh, keep playing. Keep playing. Okay. So can I have this here, please? Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Let me just mirror it from here. played for Nollywood before? Keep playing. Especially those our brother from Asaba. No, this is a very good. No, same thing, please. I love it, sir. That's a good compliment from me, please. This is not mirroring. So who can help me, please? Sorry. So I want to extend. Okay, like I said, there are four output that we're able to establish. So we have one. There's some noise. I don't know where it's coming from. Just hold on. Yes. I beg some small technical stuff. We'll fix it now. So let me just restart. Yes. So let me restart the system. Keep playing, sir. All right, sorry. Don't say this is ball. Just trying to connect. All right, so like what I am trying to do is to tell you there are possibilities. There's a lot that you have to do behind the scenes. It's not compulsory, but like I say, you are unique. So just find what works for you, and it is your signature. So in this space, when anybody mention one thing, it should be traceable to you. Like if you're following me from the beginning, we have basic theories in live sound. It's good for you to know. And then when you now upload what you have, you can actually create something that is quite different. And that is one of my testimony today. And so I've been using this quite a lot in my production for both multi-tracks productions and live sound production. if it's possible, like I said, with time, you can just uh, get the multi-track. See, like Mr. Frank rightly said, this is the season we are now, where everything is going digital. You might just wake up and discover you don't have any knob here. All you need to do is just your fingers and all that to trigger one thing and to uh, be fully in virtual studio reality. And that's also what triggers what I am doing right now. So after this, we'll go to the way I do virtual sound check. Virtual sound check, and when you have to integrate your studio and your life. I know, like in the virtual world, there's nothing like tension. You are just yourself. If you have your mixer and your laptop, you take time to process. So you will take time to also prep. And whatever you do is actually your your starting point where you build your mixes. I'm sure whatever you do might not be 100% because I'm not factoring in acoustic. I'm not factoring in the PA system responses. I'm not even factoring in the low end and the temperament of people holding or using various music instruments, including the microphone. And I might not factor in audience when everybody is well seated. So that is why anything you do in your virtual sound check is just a starting point. It's just prepping ground for you. Because when show start or event start, we might not have the luxury of time to start tweaking. So, and that's what you're going to do. Let's see if this will work. If not, maybe he's expecting me to come back to do it properly. Just hold on. So, how many of you of us have been doing? How many of us have been doing virtual sound check? Yeah, you have time. You do virtual sound check to. Okay, sir. So, can you share with us what you do? How do you prep? And how does it affect your overall production at the end of the day?
Okay.
I'll call you. I'll call you now. All right.
Okay. Okay, for that, there's a way I prep before the who's on? There's a way I prep before the event. So this is what I normally do. Before starting with the virtual mix. So it depends on the
Go ahead, sir. No, not you.
so it
Yes.
depends on the genre of
Yes, sir.
music.
Okay.
So you might be going to prep for maybe an R&B concert. Then you have a recorded pop, maybe multi-track
Okay.
you've done. And you know, definitely, no matter how you do the virtual mix, there's still some elements you need to tweak when you get
Yes, sir.
because of the genre type of music. But at the end, I just find out that my tweaks are really not from the scratch. So I might just do within 1 to about 3 hours, then I might get exactly what I want because I understand that for every genre of sound, there's a major element
Yes,
we
sir.
need to watch out for.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Go on, please.
Check. Okay. From my own personal experience, how
Yes, sir.
and is more like a question. How
Okay.
do you deal with a feedback during virtual sound check? As in the one I've experienced, I did a virtual sound check on the drums. Then when they came in to play live, anytime they play the floor tones, it rings into my kick. But during virtual sound check, I wasn't experiencing that. So how do you do that during virtual
Okay.
sound check?
So if you follow me, I mentioned like 6 things that we didn't consider in the virtual sound check, like your speaker configurations, the venue response, the placements and positioning of the speaker, your hardwares. Let's assume the sample sound you use from drums might be DW, but what you will meet at the venue might be Yamaha Stage Custom. The temperament, I don't know if I've mentioned that. There's a lot of things that we didn't consider. So you are making room for uh, this element. So usually when I do virtual sound check, it's just for me to apply my processors, my effect, and everything. So anything send on fader, I take it down. So once I get to the venue, you have to do all the procedures for ringing of your system, tuning, alignment, and all that before you start pushing. Usually the virtual sound check is just to get it. Can I say it favor more of the front of house? Because front of house mix is just one, or in a critical situation, two. When you're doing your boss send on fader, or you have various metrics boxes for your front fill, your outflow, your left and right, and all that. But basically, it's more like two mix you are doing for your front of house. That is, if you are not doing broadcast, if you have broadcast. So the virtual sound check favor more of the front of house. But if it is stage, it's advisable that you take down all your faders down. And so you have to engage the real acoustic mic to ring, to prep, to do all that. So when you have live musician, you can now push to a measure. Because if you load everything, I tell you, there will be catastrophic, I tell you. I don't know if you understand. Okay, so can we play now? If it's not working, then we have to come back. Is there any USB cable? Because I don't expect this system. I actually bought it for this kind of application. Is the M1? So it's not supposed to have that kind of. I know sometimes when you are praising something too much like that, when you get to location, it could behave like this. And so it might make me like a liar. But really, it's not. Just try. Let me just reduce some of the input. Sorry? Okay, so let me just use this one. Sorry. No, that one is okay. Sorry for the hitches, please. It's not in my language or what to have to hold you for such long period of time. Please, pardon me. Can you play? Just play. So now it's not still working. Play.